Commissioner Van Arsdale,
Present.
Vice Chair Lowe, I'm sorry,
Present.
and Chairperson Sawyer.
Here.
All commissioners are present with Chairperson Sawyer on Zoom with the location on the amended agenda.
I'd like to call the meeting to
All right.
order. And the roll call has been taken. May we participate in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Ready. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America,
To
and
the
to the
republic
republic
stand
for which
nation
one nation under God.
with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'll call for communications from the public. And seeing that we don't have any public, do we have any calls?
I have no other comments.
Okay, we do have a public comment form that's at your seat from Connie Clark. And did we read that? Does he have a copy? Okay, I'll read it then. Let me know, Raymond, if you can't hear us.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. It's good to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this comment is from Constance Howard Clark, who lives at 1765 Terrace Drive in Hemet. And she would like to address this item as the infrastructure. Her comment is, careful Hemet Council. Infrastructure is defined as the fundamental facilities and systems serving a city. The stock of fixed capital equipment in a city, including factories, roads, schools, and so on, considered as a determinant of economic growth. It speaks nothing to planning a city. It services the city. You are trying to abolish a standalone committee specific to Hemet's dire problems. Your move should be to increase direction for solving the worst aspect of Hemet's future. Dumping this committee into the planning committee, apples and oranges, and making it larger with increase of chairs tells us that your approach is to lump it all together. Here are other cities' views. And then the list is here for Ridgecrest, San Mateo, and so forth. And I'll see that these are entered into the record. She's listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different communities into the record. One being South Pasadena and Fullerton, Concord, RP, I'm not sure what some of these stand for, San Mateo and Ridgecrest, to name a few. And so with that, I'd like to thank Connie for her comment, and we have no other outside persons requesting to speak, I don't believe, do we? Okay, thank you. Okay. And with that, Noah, do you want to give us some background on this?
As much as I have, yes.
Yes, thank you.
So this special meeting was called by Vice Chair Lowe in response to an item that was published in the City Council agenda for September 12th, 2023. That item calls to dissolve this commission and transfer its duties to the Planning Commission and the City Council. Vice Chair wanted to hold this meeting to allow the commission to discuss this agenda item 16D in a public setting and possibly formulate some comments and recommendations to the City Council in regard to this item. With that, I'll turn it back over to you, Vice Chair Lowe.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to refer to you as Mr. Chairman, Raymond, I'm sorry. Would you like to comment on this proposal from the city council? I believe it came from the mayor, actually, Joe Males.
Yes, well, I only have a few comments. I think in making this proposal would be very detrimental to the city of Hemet. I believe this separate entity has been doing its job effectively, and I think it has been a good asset to the Planning Commission and also to the City Council. And I think, like I said, it would be very detrimental if this is dissolved. I would love for it to continue because it will be nothing but good towards Hemet. For right now, that's what I want to say, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. All
You're
right.
welcome.
How do you want us to proceed with this?
I think if you want to possibly, at the end, if you want to make a recommendation and have a motion to possibly have a letter written probably by you to forward on to the city council for their consideration at the item tomorrow. I think that would probably be the best end result.
Okay.
If we could kind of have the discussion of what might, what you might want to put in that letter.
I have
Sure.
some questions.
And yes, Lori, I didn't know if,
observations. I didn't know if
Steve, you have,
Stephen could tell us how this
comments?
came about or
Certainly.
why it came about.
Certainly. So the mayor has the ability to add things to the city council agenda. The mayor contacted my office because my office is responsible for drafting ordinances that amend the municipal code. He requested that we draft an ordinance that would amend the municipal code to dissolve the infrastructure commission and to transfer the majority of its duties to the planning commission. So that was done. And then we
That
included.
was
So I draft.
Friday.
I don't know exactly what day it was requested. I do know that I completed the assignment last week in time for the addition onto the agenda. So as you can see, the ordinance does not transfer the complete list. I think there's something approximately 20 items that are currently in the municipal code. Many of those items are either required to be done by another entity under state law. So to give you an example, the Hemet Municipal Code requires that the Infrastructure Commission review and comment upon the capital improvement plan, the CIP, every year. State law requires that the Planning Commission review and approve the CIP every year to make sure that it is in conformity with the general plan. And then obviously, because it's a budget and expenditure of funds, the city council has to approve it. So several of the things are not listed as being transferred to the planning commission because they are already their responsibilities under law. And then I believe that there are some items that were on the list that the mayor felt could be more easily accomplished by city council ad hoc committees because they're so rarely actually brought up. I know it's a long list, but I think of that list, there's probably 2 or 3 items that come up repeatedly to the Infrastructure Commission, and there's probably some on that list that in the entire time that the Infrastructure Commission has been in existence, haven't necessarily had occasion to come forward. And so it's probably more efficient to have those just be addressed on an ad hoc basis when they're brought up. So anyway, finished the ordinance and it was uploaded. I don't know when the city council or city clerk published the agenda, but I think it was either Wednesday night or Thursday. Wednesday.
So I guess the elephant in the room is the question of as to why, and why is this a problem? I think certainly that this infrastructure committee actually replaced 2. Robin has said 3, but I'm thinking it was Traffic Commission and Parks Commission that it replaced. And just my personal experience from the years I spent on the council was that we found that to be very valuable because there's a lot of things that come up that take quite a bit of time And I don't know if that's been your experience yet, but we've had COVID and other things since this commission was formed. And there were quite a few things like people's trees, you know, somebody will go cut down their city tree, or they will want to trim it, or there will be a problem with the sidewalk, or there's all kinds of things that come up between those two commissions that I remember, that I've always felt it was really valuable to have other eyes and ears out there. I also think that the public gets, you know, they have another chance at being able to talk to commissioners and to be able to interact with some things. If you try to go to a city council meeting, which starts at 7, they have their cutoff time at 10. They are often voting to continue to go till midnight or whatever time they go to. And then when you finally get to, you know, just have your say or have your talk, I think sometimes that's an overload for them. I know, having been on the planning commission, that there's quite a bit of stuff that gets on the planning commission. Once in a while it's canceled because there's not enough items on the agenda, but I went on ahead and did a survey, and I have asked to enter this into the record, please.
Mhm.
But if you look, most of your other cities have multiple committees. Some of them have quite a few. Some of the ones that I quite admire, like Palm Desert, who really pays attention to their economic development and other things, they have quite a few. The only other city that has just the planning commission is the city of San Jacinto. So I just, like I say, I think the big question is why, what prompted this? And that would be something, I guess, that the mayor would have to answer. I don't know if any other council members asked for this or not, but I think that, and again, I've only had one meeting, but I think that you guys have been doing things that you've asked to be done, and you are a valuable asset with your input. And Mr. Sawyer has been on it for quite a while, and you have too, Robin, and you two have been on too. And I just, like I say, I've had one meeting, so I can say that I believe there will be things that are very important that come before this commission, and also provide another forum for the public, which I don't think you can do that too much. I think letting the public come and speak and have their say and understand what's going on is very important.
Yes, I would like to add that I believe the Hemet Infrastructure Committee should continue as is. One of the things, our infrastructure committee, we focus specifically on very important aspects that will affect the city of Hemet, and the city council and planning commission already doing other things. We can focus primarily on this, so other committees are not overloaded. And I believe that we've been doing a very good job with the infrastructure, so I am voting definitely to, I think it should stay as is, yes.
I agree with Lori. The big question on the table here is why? Why do they want to disband us and get rid of us? Because in a way, we are the voice of the community. We're trying to make sure, in my opinion, that we're doing the best for our community. And by taking the infrastructure committee out of that, you've basically just opened it up to where, oh, council decides, that's it. There is no other decision. And I think it's the wrong one.
Mr. Chairman, Raymond,
Yes,
you there? Would you like to comment at this time?
Well, yes, like I said, I think it would be very detrimental to the city, that we should keep it how it is. And you guys already spoken already. We're wondering why. I mean, what brought this up and what's the hidden agenda about it? So I believe the committee is doing a good job. And just like how one of my peers just said, one of the commissioners said, I mean, we more added avenue for the rest of the of city of Hemet. And the commission has been doing a great job and supporting the council, supporting even the planning commission. So I think it should stay.
At this time, I'd like to ask how, I don't know if you feel comfortable talking about it, but I have some great concerns too, but I'd like to hear what, first of all, let me kind of frame it a little bit. You know, we just came through COVID. We were formed and COVID broke out. We have a couple new members, which have been extremely important and have valuable input to this committee and some of the issues we've been facing recently. Initially, when we started meeting, we were meeting every other month. COVID broke out. We had two commissioners resign, or three, I'm not sure how many it was, but we had previous commissioners that resigned. And so we were back again. We were meeting over in the library conference room. A lot of the public didn't know where we were or what we do. And because it was a new committee that had joined, as was said, with the parks and so forth. And it gave the public another forum. And now that for some unknown reason, the mayor wishes to take that public forum away from the public. And I don't quite understand that either. In my past experience, it's always been better to have more public comment than not enough. Because it doesn't, I view it as being an unfairness step to our staff. I think that we, at this time, have been extremely blessed with the staff that we have. I mean, we have an outstanding public works director. And for what, how many years, 2, 3, we had consulting services out there off and on during COVID. I mean, there was no even keel. There was no, there wasn't an opportunity for us to have goals and find out what the council, there was no interchange going on, or exchange, I should say, with the city council at that time because of COVID. And that was one of the reasons. But it was set up so it was going to meet every other month. It was going to be in the library conference room. And I think all that got in the way. And now that we have the meeting place back here where the public knows our previous committee meetings always took place. It didn't matter if it was the planning, the traffic, what it was. They all took place in this room and they knew where to come. And I think that it would not be doing a service to the public to all of a sudden make an abrupt decision just to say, oh, well, we don't need you anymore. Maybe they don't need me. Maybe they don't need, you know, certain people. I don't know what the mayor's motivation is, but I don't feel that this committee has held up anything because we haven't had it. Our staff has done a yeoman's job of performing under Noah's leadership at the Public Works Yard. And just when everything is finally, we have a new city manager that's considered one of the most outstanding in the state. And Hemet is truly blessed as a community to have this coming together. It's like the stars have lined up, but Tinkerbell's trying to fall off the road or something. I don't know what. I don't quite understand. It's never been explained to me. And I was at a meeting this morning with the mayor, but he did not mention this. And so I have no idea where he's coming from or what he hopes to achieve. Having been a previous planning commissioner years and years ago, and with the growth taking place in this city right now, our planning commission is busy. And so I don't understand. I'd like a better explanation of what the mayor feels is necessary. But I certainly think it's a disservice to our community and our citizens that they don't have an opportunity to come here. And case in point, we had something that came up regarding the east end of town not too long ago on one of our agendas. And the people were here, they were concerned about a development taking place. And we made some specific changes that will affect the traffic circulation in the Park Hill area. And they understood that. And they also understood years before when they turned down certain conditions in their annexation, and now they have to live with those circumstances. So it's also an education for the community and an opportunity for them to come and voice their opinion. And now, for some reason, our mayor wants to take that away, and I don't quite understand why, because it's always been my belief that the more information we can get from our citizens, the better decisions we can make. And I think we're just truly blessed with the staff that we have now. The city was turning around after COVID. We've taken a terrible hit. And the challenges that we're going to face need to be vetted to the highest extent. And that's why I am not in support of the agenda item tomorrow night. And so I think that's one reason why. And Mr. Chairman Sawyer, I
Yes.
appreciate the fact that you're here. And if you have some comments, would you like to make them at this time?
Sure, yes. What I would like to, I wish I was there tomorrow. I would have loved to speak in front of the council. So I wanted to see if you as the vice chair, if you can maybe go to the meeting and make a comment presentation, maybe we'll get a clear understanding in addition to the letter you would be submitting on behalf of the commission to the council, if you can also go and address the council.
Okay, yes, we can do that. Absolutely.
Is Mr. Sawyer able to come in on the meeting for the council meeting? Yeah, I'm
No, I'm right now.
Yeah.
I'm in
so
West.
impressed
I'm
you're
in
here
West.
today.
I'm in West Africa right now.
Yes, that's what Robin said. I thank you for making such a yeoman's effort to be here. That's
Oh,
very impressive.
thank
In
you.
Lori's past life, she's familiar with where you are right now. And so that's why she's beaming right now, Raymond.
Oh, okay.
Great. Only my calls were from the Middle East mostly. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I'm
Right
most
now it's
appreciative that you're here.
midnight over here.
Yes, midnight now.
It's midnight. Yes.
Yeah. So what are your wishes, Raymond? Do you want to kind of lay them out so we can put them in the minutes? And
Well, my wish is for the committee to stay together. I think, it would be great for the community. I think it'd be great. It's another avenue for the community to come and voice their concern or opinion when certain agenda item comes up. And just like everybody said, we're wondering what is the concern. I think the mayor needs to be clear to us what is the concern, if it's something we have to address or it's something we have to change. But somebody cannot just come up and say, okay, we're gonna recommend to dismantle a commission that was already formed already. So, I mean, I could see if there's a reason why, I mean, which we need to know why. And I hope I mean, the proposal, I hope it don't come through, because it would just be bad for the city of Hemet.
Thank you. So,
Thank you.
so
Lori.
do you need a motion for that, Noah?
Yes, I think a motion on recommendations, and if you're gonna write a letter for us to distribute to the council, that would be.
Okay, well, maybe we can discuss that, because I think we need some legal advice.
I was gonna
also.
maybe offer some advice if that's
Yes, please.
the sense of the commission, would perhaps be to authorize you as the vice chairman to draft a letter stating the commission's opposition to the proposal. That might be an effective way to give you the authorization you need so you can say you're speaking on behalf of the commission. And then that way you don't have to write it by committee here at the dais unless that's what you want to do.
Is that all right with you, Raymond?
Yes, ma'am, that is
Yeah.
fine.
Okay,
Okay.
I just
Yes.
want to make sure. So, okay. All right.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Bill, go ahead.
I make the motion that,
Robin?
Robin Lowe writes a letter to the council regarding our opinions and
I would say, sounds like opposition.
opposition to
Verbalize it,
their
see.
proposal.
Yes, I second that.
Member
And-
of the public that wants. to
Yes,
speak.
yes, sir. Would you please go over to the microphone and state your name, and thank you. Thank you for coming.
It's an honor.
I guess so. I haven't heard what you're gonna say yet. but- That's fine. Go ahead,
I'm
please.
Robert Candu. I represent Candu Electronics out of Marietta, California. I am a resident of San Jacinto, as well as a member of the American Legion, and very active with the community out here. Willie's one of my bros, as you know, and of course, you know, Robin. We getting together, doing our thing at the chamber. I have a very high concern about this as well, and the question I do have is, I'm glad he brought this up. Is this, if there's more than one person, in other words, you know, if I'm on board with the same agreement, does it require that we all be represented in this letter, or does it just take one formal letter written by you, Robin, to get this in motion?
Actually, that's a very good question. Any correspondence from you would be welcomed, and your attendance at tomorrow's night's meeting would be welcomed.
I'll be here.
Support for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but, pardon? Oh, okay. The meeting will be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
7
Yeah,
p.m.
right
And
here in
it's
council chambers.
last on the agenda.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. Yeah, 'cause if it's going to be done, I'm in the same boat. I would like to know the grounds and if the grounds are going to benefit the people, not only short term but long term. I would like those outlined too, with evidence showing where these benefits to the community are going to come from. It should be showcased for the people. I agree
Thank you
with that.
very much.
Yes.
Yeah, and we can certainly talk about that. But one of the, something perhaps that the public doesn't know, this commission does not receive a stipend to be here for this meeting. I mean,
Mhm.
we volunteer to do this. And then we were selected from a group of people. I don't know because, I don't want to get in, I'll be serious right now. And, but we don't bring home money. We don't take salary. We drive around the city at our own expense. And years ago, when I was on council and Lori was there, and of course Steve knows too, and everybody here really, years ago, there were stipends that council and the city used to pay to commissioners. And I don't know, I guess the planning commission still gets a stipend. I don't know if they do or not.
yeah, they
But
do.
but we don't. I mean, we do this because we love our city, we love our community, and we hope to make it better. And we want to hear from the residents if they have a concern about something on our agenda or not on the agenda.
Indeed.
And it's a way for them to communicate with us, as you've pointed out. And so I truly appreciate the fact that you came today.
If you need another hand, I'm here too. Willie will tell you, we already have plans, to do some things. And we are planning to come to you all with these plans within the next week or two. So if you need me, help you in this area, in any other capacity, if it's,
Wonderful. Thank you.
just know in advance, if I have it, it's yours. I'll do it.
Yeah. Steve, do you have any comment?
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna go parliamentarian on you and remind you that you have a motion pending in a second.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I know, obviously, including
appreciate
the
that.
public's fine, but
Okay, thank you.
just wanted to remind you of that.
Okay, it's so rare that we have someone here.
Just earning my
A
keep.
friendly face is always acceptable.
Well, look for that to change very soon. As folks, most of the folks in the community honestly don't know that they have this power, right? So expect more to come in the days and weeks to come.
And you raise a good point, I think, because we've been under thumb for so long now that most of the people didn't even know where we were. And it's sometimes we don't either, but in the council chamber, they can at least relate and know where to go. There's parking available. And we're back into more of a regular routine than just come see, come saw with one item on an agenda.
I agree.
And I think your point's well taken. I appreciate it.
Yes, and you ought to be compensated for your efforts. And this is a very beautiful thing that you're doing. As you notice, as this man said here, we're not seeing a lot of it on the sides of the people that actually are making the decisions. So let's get that, let's get that changed. It's about time that it did.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Too, a lot of people don't even know that we have a skate park under construction. They don't know that there's a fitness center because of a lot of things had handicapped information going out from the city and the completion of projects too. I think that's a good point you make.
Yes, and
Yeah.
a lot of them don't know how to start businesses or get financing or support for certain types of projects. Whether it be locally here in the city of Hemet or in Riverside County or the neighboring counties, and this would for looking at the economic condition of our city, this would be very valuable information to them in order to increase our economic strength here. They just have no idea where to get this information from. And unfortunately, it's not being presented in an easy way for people to access it. If we can, do something to make that more easily accessible to them, in addition to our city leaders, making it more publicly available and adding in more of their support, this could turn around fairly quickly if we can get the folks out here actually doing things that are in line with their dreams and their desires.
Raymond, do you have any comments?
No comments at this moment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have a motion on the table. Thank you. And would you like to repeat it? So we. Yeah.
We need to get a roll call vote.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Hendrickson,
Agree.
Commissioner Moore,
Agree.
Commissioner Van Arsdale,
Yes.
Vice Chair Lowe,
Yes.
and Chairperson Sawyer.
Yes.
Motion passed 5-0.
Noah, do you have some comments you'd like to make this time?
No, I mean, as far as, wondering where this came from, this was very new to me last week as well. So I'm as surprised as everyone else.
And again, just having had my first meeting, I asked Robin, has there been complaints or any problems? And just hadn't heard of anything. So
None that I've received.
wonder where it came from.
No, actually, the only complaint that I've had from people is that they wanted us back over here and they wanted us to have regular meetings so that they could come and attend and see what we were up to with everything. That's the only thing I've had in the last year and a half. You know, everybody was sick of COVID, of course. Well, that's an oxymoron. Anyway, but I mean, they were tired of everything being delayed and never knew where we were or when because of the schedule. And we didn't know if we were going to have someone sick until we showed up. And so it was
One of the things that people complain about consistently is the look of town. You know, that people talk about, we need to clean up, we need to fix up. Our city manager said that the council bought into it with the strategic plan, and clean up and fix up and all of that definition seems to point to infrastructure. So hopefully will stay in place and can help make us look good again.
Mr. Grant, I have a question for you, sir.
I have answers.
Well, can you help us with this deal? I mean, do you understand the why and whereas of why they're doing this?
I was asked to prepare the ordinance. In terms of why, usually commissions are dissolved and their duties transferred to another, because either the commission would be more efficient to have the duties done by another commission where there's a significant overlap of the duties, or the commission is not receiving the kind of public input that it's looking for. As I was preparing the ordinance, one of the things I did was I reviewed the minutes of this commission. Other than the 800 Girard project that the vice chairman mentioned, which obviously received significant public attention at multiple meetings of the city council and planning commission as well. It looks like several people came here. And this might go to the vice chairman's point. I could find, going back into 2022, only 2 public comments being made at the commission on any other topic. One was for the naming of streets in October of 22, and I can't recall what the other one was, but I think it was in early 2022. And so, you know, when you're talking about this being a body that does significant work in receiving input from the public, you know, it could be for a multitude of reasons. Could be when it was created in relation to COVID, could be where the meetings were. It could be the times that the meetings are being held, but it doesn't appear that the public is coming to these meetings and giving a significant amount of input to the commission on the work that you've been assigned. Whereas the planning commission regularly has significant number of people in attendance, primarily because projects are up for approval in front of them. So it might be that by placing those items with another commission that already has a regular time, place, and audience that comes, perhaps greater public input would be coming in through that way. You know, the truth is, you both are with the Legion. You talk to the mayor probably more than I do.
No, I don't talk to them at all now.
Oh, okay. I'm saying, you know, the mayor asked that this item be placed on the agenda, up for discussion. And so the mayor will certainly have the opportunity to discuss why he felt that having a discussion about this ordinance was appropriate. You're certainly free to talk to him yourself if you want to. But I can tell you that in my experience, having gone through charter review commissions, gone through boards and commission reviews, we were looking at, in this city, we still have a draft of the rules and procedures of the city council, which addresses appointments to boards and commissions, as well as city committees and council committees. Those are the general reasons why you would look at dissolving a commission and transferring its duties to another board and commission or another body.
And I would like to say that when we had Traffic Commission, Parks Commission, the attendance was pretty consistent back then because the meetings were consistent. And we had a lot of subjects that would come up. And I know that oftentimes people would talk to me, especially about their trees. You know, they don't like to have that tree out front, although they want the shade, they want the city to look beautiful, but they have too many leaves or whatever it is. To be able to let them come and talk at a Parks Commission meeting, for example, I felt like that at least gave them an audience, whereas if you put that on an agenda for the city council and you had a whole neighborhood that came and took an hour or more for that, I think what we were able to do back then was to get the Parks Commission to come up with some alternatives and or at least let the public have a talk. I think if you let this commission have consistent meetings, that there would be things that come up. Like what I brought up last time was the graffiti. You know, nothing is being done much about the graffiti. Yes, the city gets it off, but it's done in patches all over town. You see these fences with these patches all over town. We need to do something that makes us look better when we take care of a problem. And that's, I think if there's a consistent time for a meeting, I think if there's some consistent things that that are charged to do that are not taking away or doing something that is repetitive, I think you'll see this city starting to look better. And I think that would be a great goal for this commission.
Chair, can I ask the commissioner a
Oh,
question?
please.
Yes.
Bill.
In
I
term-
think we need to have this discussion. I think it's very important.
in terms of the trees
Uh,
commission, were those street trees, city street trees?
City street trees, yes.
So one of the things that I would suggest is since the street commission existed and since the Parks Commission existed, the city has implemented things like C-Click Fix, where if a member of the public has a street tree that is for some reason needs to be maintained, they have the ability to report that directly to the city, and hopefully it could get resolved quicker than going
You
to.
tell my mother
us-
to click at Fix. She'll tell you that she doesn't do that.
And that may be, look, it may be that it's difficult to use for some individuals, but I would argue that having a commission that meets every other month and telling a citizen, you know, if you have a tree that needs to be maintained, the tree commission, the Parks Commission meets every other month. I don't know if that's necessarily all that efficient either.
More efficient than not having anywhere else to go or to have to come to a council meeting and stay until midnight.
I understand. I think that,
And
Oh.
Steve, you have a good point. I'm gonna ask the mayor about this in a minute too, or our chairman. You just hit on it. It's every other month. We used to meet on a consistent basis every single month. Didn't have to go for 5 hours. But the public knew where we were, when we were here, and what they could talk about. And that was taken away. That was number one that was taken away. Then COVID came along. Then it was moved over to the library, which looks like it's empty most of, 24/7 anyway, because of that crazy parking lot. And so there was really no avenue for the public. We also didn't have consistent staff. I mean, we have a marvelous public works director now, and you can leave the room if you don't want to hear this. But before, we had a consultant and we were second on their list. We were not a top priority for that. And I'm not faulting the firm. That's just the way it was. They were dealing with COVID. They were dealing with a lot of things, but we weren't getting the direction that we should have had as a new committee to move forward and what our responsibilities were. We got a list of streets. Well, you need to approve the names. That was the agenda. That isn't what this committee should be doing for 15 minutes every other month. We
Sure.
should be here on a consistent basis to augment what the staff recommendations are and make those recommendations to the council.
and Vice Chair, I apologize if I
No.
veered out of my,
And I'm not
legal
I'm not
advice lane.
faulting you. It's passed, and
Right.
it was the way the situation went that, then we'd get to the meeting, we wouldn't even have a quorum because one of the members didn't show up. And so we went through that for a while. And then they had resigned from the committee and we didn't even know it. So that happened too. So it was circumstance after circumstance that got in the way. But now that you have a consistent place, and I do want to give kudos to our chairman about this, because he's always said you need to meet at the same place at the same time every month. And we all felt that way. And now we have members that are willing to make that commitment to the community. And the public needs to know. And they haven't had that opportunity yet.
Understood. I was hoping to offer an alternative perspective.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Which when the commissioner was on the planning commission, she knows that sometimes I tended to do, but I'll let you guys get back to policymaking, okay?
You're fine. Yes,
You're fine.
Mr.
Just
Chairman?
Whether would.
Raymond?
Yes, I have a question for Steve, but also I want to make a comment also. Okay, I know you guys discussed about attendance, okay? I will look at it this way. It's really not even about attendance, okay? Because people go do their work of life and then they come, it's in the evening. So most people also will look at it online as it's televised. And also the main thing is this, okay? It's not about the attendance. The key thing is we are doing the groundwork, okay? And do research for the council. That will make the council also make an effective decision in pushing the city forward and stamping what is necessary to be done for the citizen, because we do most of the groundwork for the council. So then my other point is a question I want to ask Steve. Steve, does any of the commission give a yearly report to the council? Maybe that also would help the council understand and see what commissions does every month. I mean, just giving a summary every year to the council, a report to the council. Do we have that?
To answer the chair's question, I'm not aware of any board or commission that provides annual reports to the city council on the comprehensive activities. The planning commission obviously sends along the CIP with their general plan consistency finding. That's the capital improvement plan, which you also review. And then a great many items from the planning commission do come to the city council with the planning commission's recommendation. Those are usually planning applications that have legislative aspects to them. So a zoning change or a general plan amendment is the most common. So the city council does regularly receive items that have come from the planning commission, but no annual reports that I know of.
And you have a city council member that usually attends these meetings, right?
Yes,
Don't they?
they do now, but she had a WRCOG conflict today.
Oh, understood. I believe the city council has assigned one of their number to attend or remotely view the meetings of both the infrastructure commission and the planning commission. And during their report section, which is at the end of the agenda, typically they will report on items of significance that have come from either the planning commission or the infrastructure commission to their colleagues.
Yeah, and along that line too, I don't know what kind of direction she was given when she reported here. I mean, when she first started, she was a new councilman. She is relatively new. Very bright. I'm not arguing anything like that. But I mean, I don't know if she was given any background 2 years ago as to what our purpose was or what our responsibilities are at all. I don't have any idea, because all she did was sit at the end of the dais and take notes, but of course, never entered, into a commission meeting. But
Right. I think that the council members don't feel it's appropriate for themselves to insert themselves
and
into your
I
guys' meetings.
certainly understand that too.
And it's
and agree with it.
mostly an opportunity for them to bring info back to the full council if there's anything significant that was discussed.
But maybe because she is so new, she never served on a commission or anything like that, perhaps we should educate her a little bit more about what we do and what our responsibilities are. I don't know. You would probably know that better than I.
And that's certainly something you can do if you'd like. it'd probably be most appropriate either the chair or the vice chair or both of you to set up a meeting. Obviously, if you have 3 or more, you'd have to have it as an agendized.
Well,
meeting
sure.
of the Brown.
Yeah.
May I?
Yes, go ahead. Feel free.
Okay.
Kind of-
Thank you. You guys are out there on the street, basically our boots on the ground, right? The information that you all gather, does this information go back to the city council for recommendations and to get certain policies done or not done or what have you? Is this how this is working?
Well, does anyone want to speak to that? Yet we really haven't had an opportunity to do that. Raymond, would you like to speak to that?
Yes, basically, like I said, yes, we do most of the groundwork and submit recommendation to the council. And based upon the recommendation, then the council deliberate. And this is just another avenue to help them make a wise decision for the community. I don't know if that was your question.
That's exactly my question.
Well,
And that's exactly my concern.
But what you're alluding
Yes.
to, if I may,
Yes.
is that prior to being moved back in here and having Noah as the Public Works Director, we had a consulting firm.
Okay.
And we didn't really have a forum for conversations or meetings like that, like we do to, especially this one. I mean, we were over in the library, we were given 2 items that we had to approve and out the door we went. But that was prior to having Noah on staff, and having someone, I'll speak out of turn. I know the consultants, I've known them for years, they're good consultants, but it's different when we have a public works director that's ours.
Qualified as well. I understand.
Absolutely, oh, without question. I mean, it's different. And the people that were on the commission at that time were relatively new. And then one just disappeared, never showed up, and we finally found out that she'd quit. And that was like 2 months later. We didn't even know what happened to her. So I'm sorry about that. I thought I disconnected it. But there was a lot of confusion when we were meeting over in the library. And I think that's been addressed by us meeting in this council chamber and even having you here today and being able to bring Raymond in from the far corner of the earth. So, you know, I'm very grateful that he's here. So
I guess my concern is, I apologize. Is it sounds more, I'm just going to be blunt. It sounds like a special interest type of issue. And our voices of the community are being put to the side, put in the back for whatever special interest groups that are involved right now. This is what this sounds like to me right now. Now, if this, whether it's true or not, it's really irrelevant to me whether it's true or not. My question to you guys is, by law, can this government make decisions like these without the people's approval? Yes or no? And if not, what can we do to enforce this so that it does happen?
I'll let you answer.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chairman. Yes, the city council has the authority to dissolve, reassign the duties of the infrastructure commission to the planning commission, or to city staff, or to city council ad hoc committees. The infrastructure commission was created by the city council in 2019.
Okay.
And they have the authority to amend that direction and reassign those duties to others.
Do they have to justify the benefit of doing this? Does it have to be legitimate, or is this something they can just do at the drop of a hat? Does it have to be some basis? That's what I'm asking. Does it have to be some legitimate basis for making these type of decisions?
I mean, the city council will have their discussion and just, you know, if they do have a majority that votes in support, they'll likely state what their feelings are. Like I said, I've seen boards and commissions reorganize many times throughout my career. It's usually in the name of efficiency, or some other issue like that.
Okay.
In terms of, you know, whether or not, you know, you being satisfied with their answer has a legal effect, the answer is no. But, you know, after that, you get into the realm of politics, which is where my job ends.
Right.
The legal answer is yes, the city council can dissolve the commission.
Yeah, so you understand why I said by law, right? 'Cause I see the politics.
I answered
Yeah.
the legal question.
Unfortunately, yeah, I see the politics. As a citizen of the community, what kind of power do we have to influence these type of decisions? I know we can do. I know we have some sort of latitude that we can exercise. What is it that we can actually do?
It's still for me.
Since,
I'm not,
Uh,
not sticking my neck out.
from a legal perspective,
Yes.
you have the ability to come to the city council meeting tomorrow and provide
Amazing.
public comment to give your perspective on the proposed change.
Okay.
And then ultimately it's up to your elected representatives, the city council, to make the decision on what they would like to do.
Okay, and we can present that case before the council, say tomorrow, and
In 3
let
minutes or
them
less.
delegate that.
Yes.
All right,
Make sure you're ready to do it
Okay.
in 3 minutes.
go.
Okay.
All right, I'm
Thank
going to defer to our chairman, Raymond. Are you there? Okay.
yes, yes. I think Steve already answered the question, because I was just gonna mention to him that he can come and the city council, they make the appointment, and yes, they can dissolve it, okay, as long as they have the majority of the votes. And it's nothing we as appointed commissioners can do. It's no legal act we can take upon, because it was appointed, and yes, they can dissolve it anytime they want to, as long as they have majority of the votes.
We, the public, obviously don't get to vote on these types of decisions.
No, the public can come and make comments. Anybody can come and make the 3 minutes comment, but the council ultimately just vote, and whether it's 3 votes, yes or no. So they could listen. People come and speak, yes.
I'll save that last question. I
Okay,
may not want to
thank
ask
you.
that one yet.
All right.
but-
Okay,
We need to count to 3 and there we go.
so,
Thank you, Dr.
Steve,
Thank you.
what is your recommendation that we do?
Oh, well, you've already taken action.
So we,
I don't think you have anything further you need to do,
Okay.
unless you want to adjourn and go get dinner.
That might be a great idea, Steve. Since I have a meeting after this,
yeah, I know. It's busy
like-
night.
I'd like to thank you for setting up this meeting and having this forum, and staff appreciate you're in a little bit of a different position because it wasn't something that's been long talked about. I do want to say that our community is a little bit different, even though our numbers have changed to a degree, but there was a time when we had about 62% of our community was retired. So a lot of people had a lot of issues that maybe our families didn't have, but our seniors do. And those trees and those rises in the sidewalks and all kinds of stuff in infrastructure wise, the handicap ramps were always a big issue. We tried to get those going a lot. But I think we can all come together and work together and do some really cool things, because I do think like Robin, there's been some stars aligning that have made that it's been obvious that leadership is ready to get busy, and I thank you for that.
Really,
Well, I would like to move that we adjourn.
Just
we
one thing.
Second that.
Do you have anything further, Raymond?
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
Robin, Commissioner Robin, our Vice Chair, I want to thank you for calling this special meeting to order, and I also want to thank the rest of the other commissioners and staff, okay, for your dedication to this commission, okay? We are doing the right thing by making this proposal to the mayor or to the council that we need to stay put, and just that I just want to commend you for making this, calling this special meeting. It was needed. And the other part of it, I don't know if you said you would be able to speak on behalf of the commission at the council meeting, also to the letter that we already made the motion for you to go ahead and present.
yes, I'll be there. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Unless
Thank
you're
you.
flying in tonight. If you're
Oh,
flying
I
in
still will
tonight-
make it. I still will make it. It takes 2 days. It takes 2 days.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yes.
very much thank you for taking the time to do this too. I know it's probably the middle of the night over there, isn't it?
Yes, it's past
Okay. It's all
1
right.
a.m.
Thank
Yes,
you, Raymond,
1
very
a.m.
much.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Be
Okay,
safe.
bye-bye, guys.
All
All
right.
right, thanks.
Okay. Well, Noah, do you have any closing comments you'd like to make?
No. Thank you for all the
I mean,
kind
I don't
words,
know
and
how you feel about this. I don't
I
know.
appreciate
too
all the
much.
kind words you've had for me, and it's, you
Oh.
know,
Okay, thank you. Thank you all, Steve. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much for your comments. And yeah, I know. But thanks for the short notice and your attendance today. So we'll give it a whirl tomorrow night.
We're adjourning the
Thank
meeting.
you. Do I just meeting adjourned?
Meeting adjourned.
Okay. Get it on the recording.